customer going to change their behavior from 1 to 2 a week consumption. So if you can achieve so, your sales volume would be doubled. Make sense? So you kind of manipulate customer behavior and increased the consumption rate, for example. What else that you can manipulate the customer? What else? What behavior that you want customer to do, or awareness or perception, right? Brand perception that likely to be aligned with your positioning. It could be possible that customer perceive your brand negatively. Like for example, your brand might probably charge higher price than those of competitors. It could be possible since you position yourself as a premium, more quality product solution to the target user. That's why you charge a higher price relatively to those of competitors. So customer may perceive that your brand is expensive. It's expensive because your price, suppose your brand is A, P is price compared to brand B. Your price is more than B, that of B. So then customer would perceive that you are expensive. What you can do about this situation? If you run to this situation, if you encounter with this perception, what you can do? What strategic action you can do with the customer, with the target customer? What you can do?
Like do some promotions.
Promotion? Like what?
Like some sales that might boost the demand that this price is like they should buy this price because the price already have some discounts.
They should buy this at this price. If suppose you are A, and your price, the price of A is higher than the price of B. So from this sense, customer would perceive that A is more expensive. It's expensive compared to B. So what are you going to do with this situation? Because if you let this happen, customer perceive that, okay, you are more expensive, then that would impact to sales volume. So customer not going to buy your product anyway, not going to buy your brand. So how you fix this phenomenon?
Like, should we create the marketing campaign or something that illustrate how our product is better than the customer? Like we are more premium product, more qualities, and sort of that position the like kind of display the mood and tone of our marketing campaign into more luxury or like premium. Is that gonna help?
But anyway, so you have to address the benefits from such luxury image. So what sort of benefit that customer would perceive and would get from luxury sense, from luxury image? Like for example, there quite a lot of kitchen appliance,เครื่องครัว kitchen appliance now very expensive. So in one way, they try to convey functional benefits, right? Functional benefit, how quickly it is, how easy you can perform, right? How many types of food that you can cook or make according to such appliance. That's on one way. In another way, so you got to be proud of such appliance since it's come in the very sleek designs, fashionable design. So then you can proud of your kitchenware. So you can invite your friends and then you can finally show off your kitchens, for example. That's on the other side. It's more like emotional side. This is going to be like the luxury sense of the brand that you consume. In another terms, you can convey or illustrate benefit that customer overlook. Right, since this is the price, this is the difference. The price points from A and B, this is the difference. So this difference of the price must be compensated by additional benefit. Make sense? Okay, make sense? Clear?
clear
You
ค่ะ
guys clear ไหม You all clear?
ค่ะ
These additional benefit going to compensate the difference of the price points between your and competing brands. So finally, if you can do so, you can communicate, you can educate an additional benefit that customer overlook or customer never perceived before. So if you can do it, doing so would change expensive to become values for money. So it's worth to pay. Understand?เข้าใจปะครับ
yes ค่ะ
So you're going to change your perception from you. So your brand is so expensive, from so expensive to become finally, oh, your brand is value for money. Okay, even the price higher, but according to my considerations, I found out that your brand even is more, it's charged me higher price, but deliver a better product benefit, a better solution benefit to me. So an additional benefit could be like a faster. So it could reduce the time to prepare a coffee. Suppose you selling a coffee maker. So such coffee maker would provide less time in preparing a coffee for you. That's additional benefits from, for example, 15 seconds to only 7 seconds, for example. So reduce the time. Or your coffee maker would make much more better aroma of the coffee because the technology that you build into the coffee maker that would, extract the aroma of the coffee at the deeper level. So finally, your coffee that you get would deliver you a better aroma relatively to other competing brands. You get me? Understand? Clear ไหมครับ
อาจารย์ครับ I want to know can you give some examples about the brand designers products, such as the like Balenciaga bags that they did the one that similar to the Chatuchak bags.
Mhm.
How can they illustrate the benefits to their customers?
Just only the image of the brand. That's it. The image of the brand itself. So the brand must be valued by the customer. That's why they buy it because of the brand, not the material or not the design. Just take a look in another example. Take a look into the sneaker of Balenciaga, right? So probably it would be 100 times higher than typical Nike or Adidas, right? So somehow the sneaker from Balenciaga has a unique design. So they buck up the size a bit. So it's make it looks like what I say uh, aerospace sometimes. So they come up with the unique designs. So if once you wear it, so you probably notice by other that's okay. You wear Balenciaga. You not consume the sneaker. You consume the brand. In what you just mentioned, take a look into the Chatuchak bag by Balenciaga. So in that sense, the user do not consume the product, but rather they consume the brand, Balenciaga. So you get the idea. I have another example. You know the Liban F, the watched, the ditched watch, liquid watch, Liban F. That's one of the premium brands in the category, and the Liban F has been attacked by other competing brands with lower price. So some other brand plus the house brand. You know house brand. What does it mean by house brands? It's the retailers brands. Like from Lotus, they probably has the brands called Value. That's the house brands managed by Lotus. And of course, if you take a look into all those house brands, there's a specific practice. Mainly, they just become a copycat of the national brands, right? Of the well-known brand or the market leaders brand. They just try to make it look alike the market leaders brand, the leading brands in the shelf. In terms of color, in terms of the bottle design, in terms of the label design. So finally, that could be mistakenly perceived in the wrong way by the customer that, okay, this is the leading brand, but basically it's a house brand because of its appearance that is pretty similar to the leading brands, but they provide the customer the lower price. This is how Libanef has been attacked. So in this case, so Libanef have done so far is to re-educate customer. I understand that I'm higher in terms of price. I charge the higher price for you, but I'm more concentrated. The product itself, the liquid is more concentrated in one drop of the product. The one drop of the liquid can watch. So you can watch up to these number of digits. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the additional benefit in terms of functional benefit. So the functional benefit that they provide. So the housewife who consider to buy the dish watch, the liquid, the washing liquid. So they got to consider which one that they're going to purchase. So they probably select the one with value for money, right? This time. So the perception about expensiveness has been manipulated already from expensive to value for money, because at this high price can provide the users watched more frequently, watched a higher number of dishes and plates. Okay, clear? All right. Number 4.
Just want to
yes.
double check. In terms of the benefit, if I characterize it into functional and emotional, is that like the only two things that?
Or functional,
we
emotional experience.
Experience as well. So,
Yeah,
so how is
experience.
experience different from emotional?
Let's take a look in terms of a Starbucks. That's experience, both emotional and experience. You can sit back, lie on the couch or sofa with nice texture, then you can relax, for example. Or as what I mentioned earlier, this coffee maker can deliver a better experience by providing you a better aroma of coffee. Mainly the experience benefits, the product benefit try to satisfy your 5 senses: smell, touch, taste, what you can see, for example. That's experience, 5 senses.
I see. So it actually means that, sometimes, if it's actually experience benefit, it could also be emotional at the same time, but it couldn't be vice versa. Something like that. ยกตัวอย่าง
Emotional is more like, it satisfy you in terms of self-esteem.
Self-esteem.
Yes, self-esteem. Yeah, it's once you consume a certain brand, it's make you more confident. For example, more confident. Let's satisfy your self-esteem, satisfy your, belongings, sense of belonging in the hierarchy of needs. It's more psychological, based on psychological, right? Sense of belonging. So that's why you gotta use the MacBook, for example, when you go to the school, because your friends around you, majority of them use MacBook, not Windows. That's why top of my brand awareness would be Apple, MacBook, not Windows.
I see. And these experiences, these benefits can happen more than once at the same time, ใช่ไหมครับ? Like for
Yes.
example, Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Both experience and emotional. Both experience and emotional. So you're probably much more comfortable with MacBook, for example. So that would enhance the experience in operating on the computers on one hand. The other hand, it would enhance your sense of belonging. Since
Right.
your friends in the group, most of them use Apple MacBook.
Right.
That's why if you use MacBook, you feel belong to them. For example, you feel belong to them. Make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Good question then. Okay, number 4. Would be challenging for you, number 4. What are you going to share?
Okay, I thought you forgot already.
No, not forgot.
Okay, so basically you mentioned almost everything now. So
So everyone look for things that different.
Okay, so I'll try. So we learned about what consumers perceive of the brand, like how users expose to the brand through the execution plan, and what consumers see from what the company also plan as well, and that is planning strategies concept. Which they should and positioning is the key element that they should consider. Consists of as you mentioned, like the specific behavior, as also some startup or some company would say, the unfair advantages or competitive advantages, something like that too, in order to like capture what they can tackle the consumer's pain point, and in order to come up with a brand identity and also positive impacts in order to boost sales and will gain the positive impacts or even more its behavior change from them.
Okay.
Yeah.
How they
So
integrate
basically it's the same.
so many brand concepts then. Okay, that's good for you. So this is what you mentioned earlier in terms of executions. This is what customer can expose to. Customer never ever experience the strategies that you plan or strategy that you can think of. But what they can feel and see and touched and expose is the executions. That's it. And execution must be aligned, okay? But must be aligned, sorry. Must be aligned with positioning, okay? To ensure consistency when you're going to, communicate to them, response to them, the products design that you're going to, deliver to them, ensure that everything must be consistent with the positioning, okay? All right, good. Guys, once again, I would like to address a bit of the driver since we discussed about the drivers. The drivers. Question, since the driver needs to be relevant, right? Need to be relevant. In the same time, must be differentiated from other competing brands. Okay. So question, is it possible that the brands that finally become the driver can target everyone in the market? Is it possible that the driver can target everyone in the market?
No, ค่ะอาจารย์
Why? Why
because
not?
different group of segmentation or target customer have different needs and pain points.
Since the customer in the market has different needs, has different pain points. That's why, for example, just the mass brands like Coca-Cola, that's Coke, okay, Coke. That's why they have different product variants. Right, the typical one, right? The typical one, the classic one. Okay, that's probably the cash cow brand. In the later stage, they probably have this Coke Zero, right? Coke Zero, which no sugar, for example. Right. So there's a product variance, or some other before in the previous years they have a Coke Cherry. There's a bit twist of the taste as well, for example. So different product variants is designed to capture different customer with different preference, with different specific preference. Make sense? So in this case, in order to become the driver, what's important that you need, this is the pay close attention. This is the heart or core concept of marketing and branding, segmentation. We believe that customers are different. But if you want to better understand the customer, given that customers are different, that would be difficult for you to try to, go to one by one and satisfy them one by one. Okay. So by this case, we're going to segment the customer into different groups. Okay, this would be one group. Another cluster coming up. Anyone can explain. So I believe that you have passed the principle of marketing. Anyone could explain me what does it mean by segmentation? Anyone?
Maybe I can take that. In my view, segmentation is more like separating or filtering group of people into different smaller groups based on a certain level. It could be things like age, income, gender, geographic distribution, etc. There's so many ways to do it, but it's basically just segmenting the bigger group into smaller ones.
Okay. All right. So you try to cluster, right? The cluster customer into different groups. Ensure that the customer or people that is clustered in the same group, they must share something similar. They must share similar viewpoint. For example, they must share similar preference. That's why they cluster in the same group. Okay. I would say group A, group B, group C, and group D, for example. And you got to ensure that A must differ from B, B must differ from C, and A must differ from C, C must differ from D. But those who are clustered in the same group share something similar. Okay, share the same characters, same preference, same qualifications, same demographics. Since we believe the demographic would lead to the same preference. Okay. So once you segment the market, when you are segmenting the market, what's the output of segmentation? What's the output of segmentation? What's the output? Once you segment the market, what do you get? What do you get?
I think that after you segment the market into different cluster, you are going to target the cluster that you think will be your.
That's the next step. I'm asking. So what do you get from segmentation? What's the output of segmentation? You understand my question, guys? What do you get?
Number of people in each segment.
Number of segments. This is what you get. Segment. Make sense? What you do segmentations. What you get? Segments. The number of segments in the market, right? The number of segments in the market. In this case, you probably, according to our mock-up, you probably have 4 segments. Has 4 segments from our segmentation, which is comprised of segment A, B, C, and D. So, as your friend mentioned earlier, that the factors that you use to segment that you mentioned earlier should be or could be demographics, age, income, for example. That means if you use demographics by this case, A must be like teens, B must be young adult, C must be middle-aged, D docs must be senior or retired, for example. If you use age to segment the market. Make sense? Or if you use social class or income, okay, the income to segment the market. A must be economy class, B must be middle class, C must be top of the class, for example, according to the income that they earned. Or geographic that your friend just mentioned. A must be northern area, B central, C south side, D eastern area. Or according to lifestyle, A must be reading, for example, prefer reading, lifestyle and somehow preference. B probably like to play sport during the weekend. C like to socialize with the friends. Or D prefer cooking in the evening or weekends, for example. So anyway, factor could be anything, could be any factor that you use to segment the market. But ensure that once you're going to segment, you're going to cluster the people with the same characteristic into the same group. Then people in different group has different characteristics. And nevertheless, whatever segment that you use, whatever segment factors that you use is going to yield you a better understanding of customer in the segment. Understand? Clear? But sometimes the demographic only demographics factor cannot provide you a better understanding of customer. You can take a look like you guys in this class probably share the same demographics, right? Same age, or right, similar age range. So you guys teenager. What's your career? I'm still students in the college. Income probably you must be paid by your parents in the same range of the money that you get at each month or each week, right? You study in the same field, business management, for example. But I'm sure that you have different preference. For example, okay, please prepare a small piece of paper and pen. Okay, I'm going to ask you a simple question and then you write down your answer in such a small piece of paper, all right? Clear? Okay, ready? I'm going to ask you the question. Pay close attention. I'm going to ask you now, what is the most important attribute in your mind? What is the most important attribute in your mind when you going to buy a car? Understand my question? When you're going to buy a car, so what is the most important attribute that you keep in mind? Okay, write it down. 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay, share to me. What's your answer?
For me, it's a speed. I like to drive car very fast, so
Okay, speed. Okay, what else?
I think performance ครับ but I think it is same segment as speed ครับ
Yes, exactly.
For me, it's the brand.
What does it mean by brand? What brand that you prefer? I mean, because of why you prefer such brand? Because of what attribute that such brand occupy?
Okay, the price.
Price. You mean a reasonable price, right?
Yes.
Okay. What else? Who
I
else?
prefer the interior functionality. That's what I personally like. Like for instance, if it has like head-up display or like if it actually has like Apple CarPlay, those kind of things.
Okay, you
Friends actually
prefer
cover the rest, I suppose.
functional connectivity. Okay, what else?
That size.
What do you mean by size?
So I'm not a very good driver. Like I'm not familiar with a big car, so I prefer smaller one instead.
Why you prefer small?
Because if you go into a very narrow like street, then I'm not sure, I'm not that confident.
So you're going to ensure your safety, right?
Yeah.
What else?
Value.
I would say value is price. What do you mean by comfortable? Comfortable. You mean like you can comfort. I think is it could be described in safety. Okay, must be comfort, size, or roomy space, right? Okay, I think suppose this could be a preference that you have. You see, even you have the same, you are clustered in the same demographics, but somehow you still can become sub-segment of the same demographic into different preference. I'm going to ask, how many people, how many of you in here, in this room, prefer segment A, prefer A. So if you would describe any one of you describe yourself as A, speak. Speak. I'm going to count เนื้อแพร right
Yes ค่ะ but I don't
Okay.
know how to raise their
Yeah,
hand.
anyone describe yourself as a
I think I see เพิ่ม Carl หยก and Amy ค่ะอาจารย์ they raise hand.
no speak it out I'm going to count say your name and say yeah I'm a เนื้อแพร
Yeah.
who's that huh
Carl.
Carl A right okay
yeah.
next come up
หยก A ค่ะ
หยก A
มีค่ะ
A
เพิ่ม A ครับ
เพิ่ม A who else describe yourself as A anyone anyone okay anyone describe yourself as B
อาจารย์ค่ะ
Brooke ค่ะ
Look
Can we choose two ค่ะ
what do you mean by can we choose two or B
Can I choose like B and E
okay
มิ้ง B&B ค่ะ
hmm
มิ้ง B&B ค่ะ
so Mim I think you are family focused
yeah ค่ะ yes ค่ะ
is it
yeah
normally spend time with your parents or your grandfather or grandma that's why you prefer things the safety so when you know go on the trips with driving you probably concerned about safety for everyone in the car which must be different from those who prefer speed or performance they are more individualistic am I correct
correct ค่ะ
okay next who declare yourself as segment B no more okay segment C segment C
Yep, me. I would say C and A would be two of the things I'm concerned with.
I think there's only one right Kiravi anyone functional
C ครับ
connectivity
C
huh?
ครับ
New.
You also like to be A as well
Oh, I'm just D.
D
C and E ครับ คิมครับ
Frame C ค่ะ
วินนี่ C กับ D ค่ะ
C and E
E ค่ะ Nas ค่ะ
E okay who else
D ค่ะ พิมพ์ค่ะ
who else
D ค่ะ
who else
C and E ครับ
who else anyone so we all done ensure that everyone speak out who haven't speak it yet Okay. This is for me. This is for me. Okay. Now what we got here, the number of segments. Secondly is the number of customer in each segment. What are the implications? What are the implications from this data? Anyone can share what's the implication? Only the data in the black box. What's the implications?
People tend to favor and looking for the car with speed and performance the most.
So that means
maybe it might have higher market size for this.
Okay. So the largest one. Segment is A. Anyone? Any implication?
We can assume that people around 20 usually choose this beat as their preference.
Yes, that's why segment A is the largest.
Yeah.
But like,
Okay.
Wait, you go first.
Okay, go. What are you going to say?
Oh, I just thinking about instead of speed, that will be the most key consideration. The functional connectivities and the safeties are other two things that people in our group consider as the second priority.
Okay, I think functional in this case, connectivity. If you noticed when I asking who declare in yourself in what segment, most of you guys say C and other segment, C and C and C and. In this case, C can become fused into others segment. Make sense? So there's no wonder the recent cars launched into the market for now, especially if they launched into first jobber. One of the key messages when they try to communicate to the target audience is to connect with the mobile phones, right? Right. So you can transfer the data from your mobile to the screen in the car. So functional connectivity somehow could be considered as the minimum requirement for all cars now. Makes sense? Understand? เข้าใจป่ะครับ it's become this function become the minimum requirement that each particular car brand needs to have. So the car need to connect with your iPhone, to connect with your Samsung, for example. So you can, play multimedia in your car to entertain, to enhance the entertainment system. And doing so, functional connectivity can customize the entertainment to the driver, since the driver can connect the customized list of songs in your mobile, in your Spotify, your mobile, and connect with the sound system in the car, for example. And in, like, for example, in MG brand, it's allow you to connect it, not only the sound or on the Bluetooth, but somehow connect applications as well in your mobile on the screen in the car. So it would enlarge the screen size when you on board on the car. So I would say functional, according to เนื้อแผน have share. So functional connectivity finally become minimum required functions in the car. Understand? Clear?
Yes ค่ะ
So even safety as well, you need to have a functional connectivity. Speed and performance, you need to have a functional connectivity. Or even price and values, you need to have a functional connectivity. Because new generations seek connectivity all the time, even you are on board on the car. Okay, suppose according to this market, what segment that you're going to focus?
อาจารย์ครับ if I answer you that it depends on the positioning of our brand because I mean it would be very hard to determine
you're going to enter, you're going to consider to enter into automobile industry, and you have a technology to produce the car that could serve any segment.
I see.
Like which one that you're going to focus?
Okay, so I think this is how I would go with it. Basically, if I give you a bit context first, if I were to start a car business, what I would want to focus on is luxury segment, and definitely luxury.
No.
Higher
Only
margin.
in this black box.
Okay, so I would like to go with maybe functionality and also
Why?
comfort. Yep.
Why?
That would be
Why?
the segment I focus on.
Why functionality? Since functionality are now become the minimum requirement for other segments. Whatever car that you produce, customer expect to have functional connectivity in the car.
Right.
So put here. So functional connectivity could be fused into other segments. So finally, functional connectivity finally become the minimum requirement.
So then maybe not maybe actually it's function. So it would be comfort, ครับ size roomy segment.
So you're going to focus on segment E?
Yep.
Why?
Well, that's my black box, right? But if I want to explain it, then possibly it could be that I feel that in E, I think I could sell it to my target customer, which in my mind is like housewife or like family. So I think that's where these kind of things come in matter a lot. So that's my reason, I would say.
Okay. So you try to imagine about the target segments now that should be in E. Okay. Others?
I think I would go with the speed and performance, as a lot of number in this room value the speed and performance the most.
Why? Because
it's the largest segment.
Okay, the largest one.
I think I would go for the least preference one, which is comfort, size, and roomy car. Because I think for a niche market, you will have like less competitor and like it will be easier for you to serve people having a preference in comfort, size, and roomy.
You haven't know that how many numbers of competitors that compete in each segment, but why you assume that in segment E there's less number of competitors in segment E?
I think that for a basic survey like this, it is pretty clear that people love to focus on speed performance. So yeah, I think like according to this one, more people will offer
We'll
the
go
first
with
one.
A. We'll go with A, right?
Yeah.
Most of them will go with A. That's why, according to your assumption, you would rather choose to focus on E.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Who else? Others? Hello?
I think I'll go for B boy,
You
since
go with B. Why?
yeah, since like we are
That's the smallest one.
since we're like college students, and of course we don't like earn income a lot, and yeah, I think for price, this one we concerned, but the one who buy it for us is our parents. So I assume further.
Okay. So your parents going to pay you for at this price for this segment for you guys.
Yeah, I assume that.
I think somehow price and value is the minimum requirement. If suppose I'm the marketer of the car and I like to target to college students, of course, I know I have to realize that the maximum price should be right how high it is that I can set the price, since I have to concern about what you just mentioned. How much your parents are willing to pay for the car for you. So I have to realize the minimum and maximum price range. By this case, price and values somehow is the minimum requirement that I need to understand first. Like which price range that your parents are willing or are happy to pay for you. Make sense? Get pa?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, good one. So I eliminate B. Now it seems like there's only two segments, E and A. What about safety? Anyone? Safety would be the second largest, huh? But nobody choose to focus.
I think nowadays safety is a minimum requirement for
minimum requirement.
Yeah.
But the thing about Volvo, that's still the main, positioning.
I think that is above average, above the standard. Like now, every car have a airbag, like at least 4 airbag. But 10 years ago, some model might not have airbag.
Okay. If you say so, eliminate D. D become the minimum requirement already. Okay, we have only two segments. Next question that I'm going to ask. Think about it. When I'm asking like which particular segment that you're going to focus, what are the key considerations come up to your mind that you use, that you utilize to justify like which one that you're going to focus? What's the key consideration that you use?
Like the ability to serve.
Ability to serve, okay. So that means our company resources, right? Whether we have enough resources, we have enough capability, we have superior capability when we enter into such segment, and finally, with superior capability or superior resources can yield us competitive advantage. Okay, clear? So the outcome of ability to serve is competitive advantage. What else? What's the key considerations?
The cost ครับ the cost ครับ cost of producing
Somehow that's within the ability to serve, right? Cost, whether you can control the cost. So finally, you can charge the price in the acceptable range. What else?
Ability to win.
I think it's the same as ability to serve. What else? What's the key considerations that you used to justify?
Maybe key differentiation from other competitors.
That's ability to serve.
Oh, okay.
Maybe is it like the market attractiveness, and I can define that by maybe the thing that I think Nock Ivy was saying earlier about size in terms of
market attractiveness,
customer, or even dollar value of the market. Maybe that could be one to consider as well.
What is that? How would you describe such consideration?
Well, I mean, so if we're actually entering this as a new player, right, maybe we have to look at if it's worth doing in terms of like financially speaking or not, rather than just like looking if we can produce or not. That might be what I look at.
Give me a short term of what you just mentioned. Terminology that you're going to use, what should it be? Okay, you mentioned market or segment attractiveness. What's under segment attractiveness?
Number of customers or spending per customer, something like that.
Target size. I think this is what I expect Brooke to share in the beginning, since you choose segment A because you mentioned that segment A is largest. So that's the market size. Spending power that you mentioned. What else?
Could it be like
ใจเย็น
Oh, I know
ใคร
how
ตรงกัน No, just like the numbers of competitors in this market.
Okay.
Can we consider market growth as well? Maybe the friends can be with a never effect.
Yes, of course.
More and more, we will join the A group.
This consideration deserve in your consideration set. Market size, market growth. Think about some market is still small currently, but they show the high percentage of growth. The growth could be compensate the size.
Electrical car. I think that's one like very clear. Electrical car.
Yeah, they're still small, right? But they show the promising. They show promising growth in the future. Anyone would like to share more considerations? We have now ability to serve. We have now segment attractiveness. Okay.
We need to consider like a willingness to pay for customer in terms of
Okay, willingness to pay.
like
Willing-
customer, yeah.
Okay. You see, all these factors define how attractive the segment is. Right? And ability to serve, it could be existing resources that you have. This is define ability to serve. All together here. All together here. This is what we call. All together here. This is what we call. We call it that how we define a whole thing that we just discussed. This is what we call
segmentation.
Segmentation is here already.
Is it target market? I don't know.
Target segment.
This is what we call targeting process. What's the output of targeting process? What's the output of targeting process?
Our target group.
Yes, target group. Suppose, according to these key considerations, A or B that you're going to choose. With all these key considerations, A or B that you're going to choose. Given existing data or information that you have.
I think I will stick with E. Huh?
Because
For the first consideration, it is ability to serve. So I think the R&D cost for comfort, size, and roomy will be lower than speed and performance to like distinguish yourself from the rival companies. And for the second one, I think that it is going to focus on the niche market of the housewife. So like the segment attraction here is going to be really promising in the future.
Okay, so the car IV brand target segment is this is IV brand. Oh, sorry, is E. So that means, oops. IV brand, what's wrong? IV brand target is E. This is what we call target market or target segment or target customer. These three terms is the output of targeting process. Once again, you can call it target segment, you can call it target customer, you can call it target market. So by this case, IV brand is designed to target customer E. Segment E finally become target market, target customer, or target segment of IV brand. Brooke, you going to target on segment A?
Yes, of course, because based on the customer here, we don't have any data regarding the housewife,
Okay.
but all the students and teenagers choosing the speed and performance.
All right. Okay. Given the existing data that we have for now, brand Brooke decide to target segment A. So this means segment A is the target market, is the target customer, is the target segment of Brooke brands. Make sense? Clear? Now, there are two brands in automobile industry. One of them is IV brands. The other is Brooke brands. Question. Whether IV is directly competing with Brooke.
I don't think IV is directly competing with.
Is directly. Okay, I'm doing a poll. Okay. Whether IV or Brooke is competing to each other directly, yes or no? I just launched the poll. Okay, go on. 16 done. 3 more. One more. Okay, done. Share result. You see it? I'm tempting to know who say yes. Who say yes? Who say yes? Show your identity. Who say yes? Who say yes? Let's discuss. There's nothing right or wrong. I would like to see your perspective anyway. Who are minority, huh? Who say yes? Go on. Who? Guys, have some fun, discuss. Quickly, ใคร เร็ว ใคร say yes? That would be a fun discussion. เร็ว Who say yes? ใคร ผลมันชัดเจนอยู่แล้วไม่ต้องหลบ ใคร say yes? Come on. Let's discuss.
I clicked it yes, but I clicked the wrong. I was supposed to click no, but I clicked the
You
wrong.
mistake. Okay. Then there's one left. Another one who say yes. Kai, don't tell me it's another mistake, huh? Don't tell me you pushed the wrong button. Who say yes? Come on. I would like to see, would like to hear your perspective. There must be something that we overlook. That's why you say yes. Okay, let's go. Who? Come on. ใครวะเร็ว Kai say yes. Titali, I think you are. No? Who say yes?
I think it's maybe me ค่ะ
It's mistake, huh?
ค่ะ because I clicked no at the first time and then it wouldn't go ค่ะ so I clicked yes ค่ะ
Come on. Okay. So then everyone say no, right? Why? Let's discuss why. Why?
I think because they're different target. The first one is like the housewife, and the second one is like maybe more like a individual person, like a teenager, nightlife, sort of that. So I think they are not directly compete.
They are not directly compete, or they even are not competitor to each other, since they target to different segment. Okay, even listen, even they are in the same industry, even they both brands are playing and marketing their own products in the same industry, but they're likely to focus in different segments. That means they are not a direct rivals to each other. So by this case, in terms of smart marketing, if you understand segmentation, you understand the key considerations that we use in targeting the segment, what you can get is avoidance of direct competitions. Make sense? You don't need to go directly compete with the brand in the speed and performance, right? But rather, okay, according to key consideration, I would say, or as an IB would say, I think this smaller number of competitors in segment E, there would be much more or easier for IV brands to compete, since the competition is not as intense as what's happening in speed and performance segment. Make sense? You understand what I mentioned, what I explained?
Yes ครับ
Yes, no? Clear, na? Clear, na? Ensure that you well understand, na? From this is a core process in marketing. This is the strategy. First, you understand the market. Okay, from segmenting the customer into different cluster. This is what we call segmentation. So you can use different factors like demographics, psychographics, geographic, lifestyle, or preference. But anyway, as what I mentioned earlier, even you are in the same demographics, but it doesn't ensure that those in the same range of age, income, social class would have the same preference. You probably have a sub-segmentation, right? As what we just did here in the car or automobile industry, like different students, each of you has different preference. that would define different segments. Segments are the output of segmentation. Okay, then from segmentation, then we're moving towards to targeting process. In targeting process, once again, you need to have a key considerations. What are particular factors that you used to justify which segment that you choose to focus? You can choose only one segment among every other segments, okay? Or you can choose to focus two segments. It could be possible if you have ability to serve more than one segment. Why not? Right? If you have like financial resources, you have enough human resources to run another brand in the market for another segment. Why not? Make sense? So all these key considerations you're going to use for your decision making in targeting process. The output of targeting process is, once again, the output of targeting process is
Target group.
Target group. Another terminology that we used could be
Target segment.
target segment.
Target market.
Target market. Anything else?
Target customer.
Target customer. Target users. All of these terminologies can be used interchangeably to represent the group of customer that we choose to focus.
But I have a question regarding the segmentation. But I mean, in this example, right, we said that as housewife and the other group is speed and performance level. I think like when I say that, when you say, I mean, my question is, can there actually be overlapping of the two segments, in a sense that although it might not overlap a lot, there's still a certain overlapping in like specific cases, say for like specific user, for instance, a housewife might, like comfortability and roomy MPV car, but they can still want to have a very fast car that drives them to school and back on time.
Okay.
So it's just, yeah.
Good question.
Is there like a nuance there?
Good question. That would be going to next step. Suppose if you're going to, okay, comfort is more like is the top priority feature in the housewife, because when you go when the housewife goes to the supermarket, right, to just imagine your mom drive the car to the supermarket, okay, especially these days, she try to minimize the numbers of supermarket visits, right? Try to reduce the number of visitations to the supermarkets, since she tried to keep herself away from the crowd to minimize the chance to get infected by COVID. So she probably planned to go supermarket like twice a month. Think about twice a month. But she have to serve a whole family. So think about the carrier, how large it is, how space it is to have to fit all the products that she get from the supermarket to fit in one certain car. Understand? Clear?
Yeah. So basically you're saying that it's
no, not
priority there.
Yeah, priority. The top priority is comfort, size, roomy. So then I can go to supermarket and I can fit all the products that I buy from supermarket at the time in my car. That's the top priority. Somehow second priority would be safety, of course. The same car that I use, sometimes I have to send my kids to the school. Make sense? Send my kid to the school. So then I'm going to concern about my safety. That would be second priority. So that means if you want to work on the products to serve housewife, one of the car format that is likely to attract her would be SUV. Roomy, spacey, and what safety. And in terms of the vision, when she get into the car, the vision once she drive on SUV is pretty clear, since the SUV is a bit higher than any other types of car format. Does answer your question?
Yep, I think it does. Yeah. So basically, can I just confirm that it's more about when you segment, we think of the priority as
Yes.
a way to segment first, but then digging deeper, there might be overlapping, but it would be second or third priority already. Okay. Yep.
Exactly. Or, as what I shown earlier, you just mentioned about functional, right? Functional connectivity. This would be a second priority to, in each particular segment. So finally, I suggest by this case, functional connectivity can be fused into other segments. So some segment that you found can be collapsed and integrated into other segment. Clear?
Yep. Very well. Thank you.
Okay. From targeting process, once again, so you have key consideration. Like what? Capability, or you mentioned ability to win, and segment. Or market attractiveness. Okay. From targeting process, you finally get the target. Oops, sorry. You finally get target segment. Which from the previous one could be E and A. You need to have further analysis insight. This would answer to your friend mentioned. So what's the insight? You need to understand customer insight. As what we just mentioned, okay, top priority is space, especially this day when I drive to supermarket, and then I'm going to ensure that all the products that I purchase can be fit into one large or one roomy car. Since I'm going there like twice a month, for example. Make sense? Clear? This is insight that you need to understand. Okay? Then come up with so IV brand. Now, what are you going to be perceived by an housewife? IV brand. This is positioning. So you need to be perceived as roomy. Okay. Adjustable seat. No, roomy. Roomy to carry many products. For example, and of course, somehow once you use this car to send your kids to the school, so happy family. So that means there's a rooms for kids to enjoy in the car. Space, so the car with the space and roomy space, for example. But for A, very different, since this is focused on teens or young adult with individualistic. Socializing, for example, with friends. So this is a blue brand. Positioning speedy, acceleration, sport, show off. Understand. Okay, so then for today, what do we got here? We have a course process in marketing, strategic process in marketing. So once again, what do we have? What do we have? Once again, we have segmentation. The output of segmentation is segments. When you have different segments, you need to go through the targeting process with key considerations. Okay, to select the specific segment that you're going to focus. Okay, from targeting that we earlier discussed, we got target segment. From target segment, you need to understand their insights. From the insight that they have, you define your own positioning. Within an insight that you have, somehow comprised of, as to stay relevant, you need to understand what? Usage, behavior, usage pain, expectation. So as the IV brand, you need to become solution. You need to become solution, okay? All right, make sense? Clear on that? How it's connect from segmentation. That's the beginning of a strategic process in marketing to the end, which is positioning. How it flow from the beginning to the end. Everyone understand. So this is what, so this page, this is what we address once again about the strategy and executions, right? And then the strategic process of branding and marketing segmentations, targeting and positioning. Okay, guys. I'll send you all these files to your live group. Everyone okay today? Well understand?
อาจารย์ครับ I have some question regarding the target segment นะครับ
Okay.
So for example like a car, so if we think about the housewife and when we segment the ages, for example if we say the age must be around like 40 to 50.
Yep.
However, if we change from 40 to 39, there might be some percentages that at the age of 39 there will be some housewife, but the percentage is lesser than 40. So I just want to know whether like when the marketers target, do they interest in the age of 39 or 38, 37 or and going on?
I think the age that you just mentioned, like 40, 39, or 38, is just the minor difference. The minor difference.
Yeah.
So we go back to what we have discussed so far. Demographics only is not enough. It's not enough. Ensure that you better understand lifestyle. Even they are 30 and they already become a housewife and they have the same preference to go to supermarket like twice a month, and then that's why they need why a spacey SUV to fit all the products. So they could define as a housewife even they are 30. Make sense?
Yeah.
That's why you cannot, or I'm not encourage you to understand the customer only on demographics. Okay.
I think in my thinking process is about if for example if we are going to do some ads and when we filling in the criteria, if we putting for example, sometimes we might need to scope by the ages as well, and if we choose to be 40 or higher, we might lose like the 39 or 38. But if we include 39 or 38, sometimes the percentage of these age group might not be attractive enough to put it in. So I'm kind of just
this I understand your point. This is the trade-off.
Yeah.
Trade-off that you have to consider.
Yeah.
Whether like okay, I would believe that like in the later age, what the later age that you mentioned? What range?
40 to 50.
40 to 50, and the younger one is
like 38, 39, 37.
I don't think that's make a difference. 38, 38, 39, 40, I think they're quite the same. Probably 35, 35 to somehow 35 to 45 or 35 to 50. Somehow they share something similar. Yeah.
Just a quick discussion that just come into my mind. So I was curious about like Honda and Toyota like this. So in my opinion, I think that they are in the same segment with maybe like a value base, like tend to receive as the value car. But however, when I talk to others, they someone mentioned that kind of Honda may like price their car a bit higher to make them like perceive more expensive or better than Toyota or sort of that. So I just want to know that in this case, does these two brands compete each other directly, or they just prioritize the different segment, like are in the same segment?
Apparently, these two brands compete directly in different segments, in many segments. Just take a look into, CRV. No, CHR, and the one from Toyota. What's the model?
CHR or like Fortuner or
no. The smaller one. The smaller one.
Smaller one.
From Honda. From Honda is CHR, right?
CHR is Toyota.
And the one from Honda, which is pretty much
HRV. Is it HRV something?
Yeah, HRV. Yeah. Okay. HRV and CHR. This is considered same segment. Same segment.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, but HRV seems to be higher in terms of price, right? Right?
Yeah, maybe
a bit higher. So same segment, same functionality, but different positioning.
Oh.
So a bit premium. Okay, this one more convenience. That's what they sell, convenience. In terms of brand, convenience and reliable. Since they have a number of service center and acceptable price. This is the positioning that they have from Toyota.
So these mean that even though we are in the same segment, competing in the
Right.
same segment, but we
Right.
can still position ourselves to differentiate from other brand. Am I correct, ka?
Right. Positioning different. This is how you compete with other competitor in the same segment. You got to ensure that you have different positioning.
Okay. Thank you, ค่ะอาจารย์
Okay. Clear? All right, I'm going to send you the file, okay, in our live group. So you guys have some fun today?
Yes,
Okay.
ค่ะอาจารย์ I believe so.
Okay, I'll see you next week then.